I think the best bet would. I think everyone's probably The Rock. I think it's The Rock probably calling shots from behind the scenes. What? What do you think?
I think it's maybe I'm just like I think it's like I'm being too simplistic. I kind of just thought it was always Solo.
Nah, there's more to it, bro.
But
There's
I'd say it's
definitely
Solo because Roman said he's the next tribal chief. He's the heir to the throne. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Burning Hammer podcast. I'm Mark Izzo, he's Dillon O'Brien, and we are your hosts. Now, we're recording this one a little later than we usually do. We were recovering from WrestleMania 40 weekend because it was pretty epic. But on this episode, we will be diving into our WrestleMania 40 experience. We're going to get into some matches that could happen at Backlash, and then we are also going to be getting into a new member getting added to the Bloodline. But before we get into that, make sure to follow us on X at the Burnt Hammer. That's the best way to get our immediate and initial reactions to anything and everything happening in wrestling, like AEW airing the CM Punk and Jack Perry footage. We're not talking about that on the pod because we're not going to waste any time on that. And then you can follow us on everything else at the Burning Hammer. That's the best way to stay up to date with when we release new episodes of the podcast or new YouTube videos. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button and make sure to like and comment. And if you didn't know, we're available wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you are listening, then make sure to subscribe or follow the show, whatever it is that your streaming service does, and then rate and leave us a review. That is the best way for us to find new audience members. So, let's get into WrestleMania 40. We're going to talk about our experience because it was the best experience of my life easily. So we hit Friday Night SmackDown. We hit a quarter of the Hall of Fame. We hit NXT. We hit WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, and then Monday Night Raw. We basically did everything there was to do besides go to WWE World because we just didn't have time.
So briefly touching SmackDown was great, a great go home show, and then followed by the Hall of Fame ceremony. I did see the Philadelphia crowd was catching a little bit of slack. So let me go to bat for me and my fellow people in the crowd. First and foremost, I saw the first thing that they said was, it was like so disrespectful that a bunch of people left like after Heyman, since Heyman went first. When Heyman was done, it was after 11, dude. Like,
yeah,
we had NXT the next day at noon. We had to be back in that stadium in 12 hours. Like, no disrespect to anybody else, but obviously Heyman was the headliner. Why did they put him first? Like, I feel like they put him first because they kind of knew people probably wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And also, they said people were being very disrespectful, chanting "what" and stuff like that. It was literally because we couldn't hear. Like, the mics were literally so low, we could hardly hear Roman. The only reason we could hear Paul was because he's loud as hell, and it's Paul Heyman. But like, we were chanting "what," but we were also chanting "turn the mic up." We were chanting "we can't hear you." Like, so yeah, that's what that was about. We literally,
it was a legitimate "what," not like trying to be like a dickhead.
Yeah,
what.
It was a legitimate like, "What are you saying? We cannot hear you."
Yeah.
Anybody else who's in the crowd can also attest to that. But with that being said, I'll briefly touch on that night with one of the most magical experiences of the weekend for sure, which was Paul Heyman's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame and his induction speech. I mean, can't put it into words. The guy starting it off, getting the "You Deserve a Chance," of course, in Philadelphia, ECW chance, and he starts it off with, "You're damn right, I fucking deserve it." And he does, man. There's so much that this man has done, and there's so much that he continues to do on a regular basis, and that he's going to do. He's the man. There's no words to describe the impact he's had on the industry. Like I said, me and Mark don't need to sit here and talk about how great Paul Heyman is for 15 minutes. You guys know. So yeah, just being guys from the area where ECW, originated and all that stuff, and being guys that are so passionate about pro wrestling but aren't necessarily interested in being pro wrestlers, but would love to be involved in some sort of way. Paul Heyman is the godfather as far as that stuff is concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the man. Paul Heyman, greatly deserved. Your Hall of Famer, 2024 Hall of Fame. We did get some cool shirts. Old picture of Paul Heyman on it that says "the effing guy."
I actually got mine right here.
Oh hell yeah!
Hopefully,
the effing Hall of Fame guy.
Yeah, so we each got this one, and then we talked about it before WrestleMania. I don't want to say I predicted it, but I predicted it. If they had this shirt, it was an automatic buy. Wrestle effing Mania shirt right here. And then Dillon got a pretty sweet ECW style shirt that says WM40 with the purple and barbed wire logo.
Old purple logos.
And the cool thing about these is the scratch logo, WWE.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's a nice little detail right there. So yeah, the Hall of Fame was awesome. I don't know why they put Paul Heyman first.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, not sure why they put Paul Heyman first. That's the first time they've ever put a headliner first.
And it was all right, SmackDown ended at 10, obviously. Then they were like, all right, it's starting. The Hall of Fame's starting in 10 minutes. I don't think the Hall of Fame started until 10:30.
Yeah,
and then
Paul wasn't done until after 11.
Yeah,
and then we left after Paul, and we didn't get home till midnight.
Yeah.
So and we only had to go a couple blocks away. So it was if we had to drive home, would have been crazy. But I guess we'll move on to a little bit of our experience at NXT. NXT was great. It was we had great seats. We'll say that our Wells Fargo Center seats. They really. I think if you bought a 3-day pass, you probably knew. That was definitely the way to go. Even if you weren't going to NXT, you could skip NXT, save money, and get better seats. But we didn't skip NXT. We went to NXT, and that was great. That was a great show. Roxanne is your new champ. Ilya retains, and then of course in the main event we got Trick Williams taking down his former best friend and his former partner Carmelo Hayes, who is now I'm assuming going to be main roster bound. Seems
probably during the draft.
Yeah. So. And then we go to that night, Saturday night. A little bit of a chilly night. The wind was mainly the wind. The wind
was very windy.
It was just the wind was fucking nuts. You got a second where it was all right, this actually isn't too bad. But then you would just get of just wind.
Wind beats you down.
And we were lucky enough to be down relatively low. We were in the 100 section. So I can't imagine how bad it was in the 200 sec. You know what I mean?
Being up in the heavens.
Yeah, that was probably terrible. So I would say cut the crowd a little bit of slack. They really seemed. I rewatched WrestleMania. I don't know if you have yet.
I haven't.
But they were really harping on how cold it was on Saturday. They were really trying to. It seemed they were like, "Hey guys, the crowd isn't that bad. It's just cold." But I also think. I don't know. We were there. The crowd felt pretty lit. They were definitely more excited on Sunday, but I feel like it might have been an issue. I swear, I think it might have just not been coming across on TV.
I don't think it was coming across on TV because
maybe because of the wind. I don't know.
Well, and it was probably due to the wind, but then it was also the crowd wasn't bad enough to be oh, this is a bad crowd. It was great. Weird. It was electric.
Well, no, and I'll say, I rewatched it, and I was oh, wow, this is, quiet. It wasn't that quiet in the stadium. part of me thinks they might have just like not had the mics turned up loud enough as well. Like,
I think it also is tough to like come across on technology because I posted a video of LA Knight's entrance and like the crowd was so loud, but like it didn't come across on like social media like that either.
And then so Saturday was obviously it was great. Saturday was awesome. Saturday I think match of the night for me on Saturday has to go to Sammy and Gunther. I think they told a story throughout that match. It was so cool. Like, you didn't have to know anything about them going into it, but you could tell Gunther is this long-term dominant champion. Sammy is this underdog type of guy. And, they really had you thinking that Gunther was about to get this W for a little bit there. And then the brain buster off the top rope.
That's kind of when I knew. When he hit that, I was like, all right.
Brain buster!
That's a rare move for Sammy.
Dude. Reached deep into the bag of tricks. That was his finisher as El Generico, I'm pretty sure. Or it was definitely one of his signatures as El Generico, if not his finisher. And then you hit the double haluva kicks for Sammy to get the win. That was my match of the night for Saturday. And then I'll have to give credit where credit's due. The Rock definitely did better than I thought he was going to do, just as far as they did it very well to where it wasn't him having to just go like crazy in the ring, like crazy stamina, but like there's no sense in them trying to do that if he's not going to be able to do it well. You know what I mean? You work around people's strengths, not their weaknesses. And they did it very well. There was the funniest moment of the night was when The Rock went straight punch to the dick on Seth and then launched himself into the turnbuckle. Yeah. That was, dude, it's so much. Did you see the clip?
No.
It's even funnier.
Really?
Like, we saw it in person and it was hilarious, but like the clip makes it look even worse.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that's crazy.
It was so funny. But I don't know. Is there anything you want to say about Saturday?
Man, Rhea's entrance live was
sick.
Very sick. I don't know how it came across on TV, but it was awesome to be live for that. I think people were talking about Becky getting booed. She did get booed a little bit, but you put anyone up against Rhea in the moment, they're getting booed. That being said, Becky didn't get booed that much.
Yeah, it wasn't that, like, there was back and forth of, like, let's go Rhea, let's go Becky.
Like, it was pretty evenly split. I don't know what people expected. Like, obviously, Rhea's going to get cheered because she's awesome. But
and it's also, and then you have the hardcore fans that are there to where it's like, we're there, and it's like, we love Becky. We don't want to boo Becky, but it's like, we're going to cheer Rhea because we want her to stay the champ. Like, her losing to Becky is not the right decision. Nothing against Becky. It's just not the right call. So it's like, we don't want it to happen. I don't know. So it was weird. And Becky apparently had strep throat, which was pretty crazy. They delivered, man. I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, and that's another one. I think potentially best match of the night. I thought as a whole it was really good. The show. I thought they did the main event tag team match in a really good way. Like you said, not having The Rock go wrestle 45 minutes in the ring. Like, I don't know. They probably spent like 10 or 15 minutes outside brawling, and it's easier to do that when you haven't wrestled for a while. And we sat 100 level kind of towards, like, if you're facing the ring and you're standing on the stage looking down at the ring through the entrance ramp, we were like to the right of that. And I will say we were worried about like our view being obstructed because of like the corner posts. I don't know. I guess it's a recent thing they've been doing, but they don't put anything on like the pillars that are above the ring.
It was
like,
at least just like scaffolding.
Through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, night one was awesome. Don't hate on the crowd. I'm just being there in person. The crowd was electric despite how it may have come across. Overall, I think Jimmy versus Jay was a little disappointing.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that we're going to get like that progressed more and more. I was just expecting like a 30-minute like match of the year, make you cry type of, but that we didn't necessarily get that. Now I think they absolutely can do that. I think we're probably going to get that later down the line, especially with the developments in the bloodline that we've
I don't know though.
hinted at
I
earlier.
think the Jimmy versus Jay is over for now.
That would blow.
Dude.
That would suck. You're probably right, because
why though? Why would that suck?
Because I thought we were going to get this long, like 5-6 month feud, and then they just had a feud that lasted a month with a shitty match.
I feel that, but I think part of me is like, bro, I don't know.
Like, this feud should have been legendary. You know what I mean?
Bro, I don't know if Jimmy can go like that.
Dude, Jimmy can,
bro.
Yeah, but Jimmy can go like that.
Bro,
I think
but
he
it's
can.
like, bro, I don't know. Like Jay is a much better singles competitor than Jimmy. Like,
yeah, agreed. But I also don't think Jimmy's bad enough to where
I don't.
They can't put on like a classic match.
It was also just a produced, like it was a badly produced match. Like there shouldn't have been that many super kicks planned. There shouldn't. It was a little weird, but I think it's done because it doesn't make any sense. Because we'll get to it. I just don't. I just think it more makes sense for them to come back together rather than apart.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, like
so yeah, night one was super good. We also planned it out pretty well. To where like night one we went to the stadium a little earlier to like walk around, get our merch and stuff, and then night two, we were fully locked into the show. Merch prices, they weren't terrible. Like the shirts were $40, but they're $32 online, and then you figure for shipping it's around like $7 or $8. So not terrible, a little more than I would have liked to pay.
Overpriced for sure, but like weren't getting them much cheaper elsewhere essentially. So they weren't that overpriced. They're just overpriced in general.
Yeah.
Like that's really just what it is.
Oh dude, we almost forgot potentially the best part of night one, or it may have been SmackDown, when we were waiting in line to get in to the show. I think it was SmackDown, and we're waiting there in line. This guy's selling t-shirts.
Oh my god. Bro, this man, he's got t-shirts with like Marvel superheroes on them, like the Avengers. He goes, t-shirts, Avengers, autographed t-shirts, Spidey autographed, Captain America autographed. Claiming to have Spider-Man and Captain America's autograph on these shirts. And I feel looking back on it, I really wish I bought one. Just like I was just so in shock by like what was happening. That
so
someone
funny.
was like attempting to say that was a thing. But honestly, the hustle, I respect that so much for even just doing that. The confidence, I really wish I bought one. But that was great. If that guy's watching this, I'd love to get in touch. work at a partnership. But yeah, that was awesome. And then I guess fast forward to night two, which is night two was, like I said, we were defending the crowd, but night two, but we can't. I mean, night two, the crowd was hotter, and it was a lot nicer outside. And night two was just overall kind of just a better night for the wrestling. The matches were crazy. You had Drew getting his moment and then getting it ruined by Damian Priest, an exact prediction made by yours truly. You could probably edit it together of me saying, I believe Drew McIntyre is going to win and he's going to get his moment. And then you could edit in a little clip of him holding the title with his moment, hand it to his girl, and then say, and then that's when Damian Priest comes in for the cash in. And then you see CM Punk beat him up and Damian Priest come in. The exact prediction made by this guy. But yeah, dude, it was electric. Like
2 Money in the Bank cash-ins in our life
Brock
so far.
cash in too, a while back, and yeah, dude, that was an electric moment. The crowd was super behind Damian too. For those who don't know, Damian trained at the Monster Factory, which is like 20 minutes away from the stadium, from Lincoln Financial Field where we were at. So he got to do that like literally right where he came up and learned how to do this thing. So that was probably really, really cool for him. And another reason why I'm sure part of that crowd was so hyped, because they know he's got some ties to the area. So that was really awesome for Damian. And it was awesome for Drew because he did get his moment. But like Triple H said in the press conference,
Triple H put it a really good way.
Yeah, the exact thing that Drew McIntyre was telling Seth. He was too worried about everything else. Drew McIntyre ended up being his own downfall because Drew was too worried about CM Punk gloating, and it costed him. So that was an amazing moment. Bayley got her moment. That was electric. We just gotta get to the main event, I feel like, because this is just like, it was insane. It was one of the greatest
everything
things
we
in my
could
life.
have hoped for.
All together. I mean, Jesus, man, the Cena return. You had the Undertaker return. Brandy at the entrance ramp with Cody. Dude, it was awesome. It was perfect.
The magnitude of it all was insane. Like, dude, it was truly like, that was the most like spectacle thing I've like ever seen.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like, and especially seeing everyone's reactions, like watching it at home, like really puts into perspective. Like, holy shit, we were there in person for that, dude. Like,
yeah,
I have it on video of when the Undertaker comes out. We'll probably clip.
We'll post.
Yeah,
that
we'll have
now.
to post that.
Come on.
But like, maybe we'll like edit it together with this, but it's the Undertaker comes out and it's literally me. I'm just like, holy fucking shit, it's the Undertaker, dude. I'm just freaking out. It's
just like such like a pure moment.
Oh god, it's truly
just like
insane.
The pure raw emotions.
And it's also because I thought Stone Cold was coming out. That's the reason I was filming.
As did everybody.
It's a true, as did everyone. So it was a true, completely unexpected. And it's like not great because it's like the one rule I made for myself. I was like, I hardly took any videos of like moments. I took some videos of some entrances and some stuff like that, but I really tried to be locked in, just living in the moment.
Yeah.
So when taking that video, I was like holding it under me and like not looking at the screen. So it's like shaking a little bit all over. So that not that bad for all of that though.
Yeah.
I did end up looking and then like zooming in at one point so I could get like a little bit of the face off. Solid vid, I would say. It was fucking crazy. It was insane. It was insane. And then Cody finished the damn story, man. He did it. He finished the story. Awesome. And Mark, I guess you want to tell him it was one of the craziest parts, but right behind us, sitting there was. You can tell him.
Yeah, so we our seats for night 2 were really, really good. We got really lucky. We were right on the aisle.
Yeah, we didn't know that when we bought them, so we got lucky
club
getting the
level
aisle seats.
So we were right above 100 level, but right below 200 level, and so it was perfect. We were on like the hard cam side, just off to the left, and then we go and sit down.
Worked very hard for these tickets. We're not gloating, by the way. We're telling you. We spent too much money, and it screwed us over a little bit. But we had to do it.
It was always the plan to have the best seats for night 2. We bought those first. We spent the most money on those. But we go and sit down, and then people around us are sort of chattering, and then I think it was the gentleman in front of us told us that Cody's family box was 7 rows behind us. So we turn around and look, Dustin's there, Ricky Starks is there, his family's there. So it's like that made
QT
it
Marshall,
QT, Aaron Solo was there.
Yeah, like
it was crazy.
So just seeing Cody finish the story and then turn around and you see like Ricky Starks like going as insane, if not more crazy than everyone in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like as if he's a little kid watching a guy that he's a fan of, but we know it's someone that he's really good friends with. So it was probably a little more deep to him to watch Cody do that. But yeah, man. I mean, that was crazy,
it was surreal. Man. And like, I don't know if it's the same for you, but like, I know for me, anytime like I see someone in person that I've only ever seen like through a screen, like it's so trippy to me.
Yeah,
so
like,
just
whoa.
like seeing this person who's like real that I've only ever seen through a screen, and now I'm just like 20 feet away from them.
And seeing him in that atmosphere too. It was like not seeing him in like as a wrestler. Like we saw him as
he was a
friend and fan. Like
that was one of the coolest things in my opinion. Is just like, and like you said, like everyone's freaking out. Cody finished a story, and then you just like turn around and like Ricky Starks is freaking out the most out of anyone in the stadium probably. So that was super cool. The match was insane. Literally Avengers type movie. Truly one of the most, I mean, I don't, it's hard to put into words. Like it was literally everything that we hoped that it was going to be.
It was magic, dude. It was magic.
And like just getting like Cena come out, take out Solo, and then The Rock came out, and then they just had that stare down, and then obviously The Rock just handled Cena. Then The Undertaker came out. Truly incredible.
Undertaker, truly the only 1B that nobody could be mad at.
Yeah.
I was like, the only other person besides Taker or Stone Cold could have been Triple H. Like that people would have been like hype over.
Yeah.
But we got Taker. The dead man cometh, in the words of Michael Cole. And yeah, that was just awesome. And damn, and then it went right into Monday Night Raw after Mania. We get that.
You want to talk about a hot crowd?
Yeah, dude. Seriously, man. First off, just Cody comes out. You get the "You Deserve It" chants, crazy, saying you have no idea how much it means to him. Nonstop, Dusty chants, Cody chants, "You Deserve It" chants. The guy is on top of the world, and he truly deserved it. It was so amazing to be in that crowd. And then he gets interrupted by The Rock, and whew. You want to see a hot Philly crowd? That's a hot Philly crowd right there. Did not want this man to say a word. Told him to shut the fuck up a whole bunch. Undertaker was the first chant that we started getting going. So it was.
Did you watch that segment?
Not
TV?
all of it. Like I just watched like some clips.
Yeah. And real quick, I would just like to formally apologize to those who watched it for it going on so long.
Dude, yeah, that was probably miserable to watch on TV. The only reason it was fun for us is because we were in the crowd.
Yeah.
But, like, The Rock was playing into it too much. Like,
and we just wouldn't let him speak. Like, that was the thing.
And he said he's got to go away for a little while. We're like, yes.
It was like, that was probably like the most like hostile and like hot crowd that we've probably been in attendance for.
Yeah. So, and then you have, essentially it all ends with The Rock saying, whatever, that weird moment, let me hold the belt, I'll hold yours if you hold mine. That was weird.
So, that was a callback. Did you see that?
Yeah, what was it?
So, I didn't know this. We thought everyone in the crowd around us was like, that was super weird. We didn't know it in the moment. But then, like, I was on social media, and it was a callback to when The Rock debuted the Scratch logo WWE title in like 2015 or 14, and Cody came out and kind of did like the same thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Still odd
for sure. Either or, it was weird, but then it all led to The Rock saying, "Your story with Roman Reigns is finished, but our story has just begun." So it definitely seems like we're going to get The Rock versus Cody one-on-one at some point. Maybe SummerSlam, if not. I mean, my money's on a Saudi show. I think there's better, the best chances that it happens at a Saudi show.
Yeah,
Either that or SummerSlam. Um, I don't like. They're not gonna push that till next Mania because we got a lot more to talk
because
about.
we're gonna get Rock versus Roman next Mania.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then we got
Ilya
uh
Dragunov had a great
Ilya
match.
Dragunov
Roxanne
debuted.
Perez.
Roxanne. And then we got a new we had Damian Priest come out as your new world champ. That was really cool. Him and Rhea had the matching belts. And he was getting a nice "you deserve it" chance, and he says, "You're damn right, I deserve it." Damian Priest has worked incredibly hard, man. If there's like that man is such a grinder, dude. Like the amount of work that guy's put in, absolutely he deserves it. So we get that, and then we got a new number one contender to the Damian Priest world title, and that is main event Jey Uso getting the singles push still. Feels like this might end up getting involved in a bloodline story somehow. I'm not 100% sure as of this moment, but
so
we
let's
got main event.
transition. Let's transition to Backlash from that.
Yeah,
Because do
So-
you think Jay, or do you think they're fighting at Backlash?
I think it is at Backlash. I think that's like,
You think that's the
Maybe.
plan?
I'm pretty sure they said it, but
Oh, I didn't see them say it.
I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong.
I know that Cody versus whoever is going to be happening at Backlash. I know they
Yeah,
said
and
that.
that'll probably be Cody versus AJ,
Yeah.
which that'll be a banger. We've never gotten that match, have
Yeah,
we?
that's-
No,
um,
I think AJ debuted.
No,
in
because
WWE.
AJ debuted the same year Cody got released.
Yeah, literally. So it's, and they are one. Cody said it on SmackDown. They are two of only 4 people to hold both the NWA World Title and the WWE.
Dude, that feud.
So,
I hope they let that feud cook and just let it go on. Like I hope it's not
dude,
a one
like
and
that's
done.
the one that's the biggest thing, dude. That's one of the best parts about Cody finishing this story is now like. So like it just opens the door of all these feuds that we can finally get with fucking Cody,
Yes.
dude.
It's
Like
going
Cody
to be
versus
awesome.
AJ, like the Cody versus Randy feud, has to come, and that's gonna be electric. Like there's so many great feuds that we can get. It's truly, yeah. The list can go on and on. Cody and Gunther, and then so for Backlash. Let's get back into that. So I'd say I'm pretty sure that Damian versus Jay is going to be a Backlash, but maybe I'm wrong.
But
If it's not a Backlash, I would say Damian doesn't defend at Backlash then.
that's my thing, because I feel like they've done that before, where it's like they have a number one contendership match, and then like within the next week or two they have the championship match. On,
Yeah,
like,
no,
Raw.
100. I could totally see them having it on Raw.
Because like I don't think they're gonna do it at Backlash.
yeah,
Because I think they would have said it because they said it for the WWE title, and like I don't think they're gonna do both titles, on Backlash, both the men's world titles at
That
Backlash.
makes sense.
And then you can just have Jay lose, and then you can sort of kick off the Bloodline story.
yeah.
that.
So what other matches do you think we're going to get at Backlash based on the direction we're going? I think Monday Night Raw is tonight. That'll obviously give us a lot more direction. But what do you
I would
think?
say. So assuming Sammy retained on Raw, which we're recording this prior to Raw, he's defending against Gable, which is going to be a goddamn banger. I would put my money on Sammy versus Ludwig Kaiser at Backlash. I think that would be
I like
super
it.
sick. I think Ludwig's going to go after the IC title.
I can definitely see that.
Because I think Gunther is going to be like, one of you two need to go after that. I'm going after the WWE or the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that match, I feel pretty confident about that. I don't think they're going to have the U.S. title on the line.
Yeah, I feel like Logan's not going to be on it.
Especially with them having SummerSlam in Cleveland. I think they're going to start to build stuff for that. I feel like we're going to get one of the tag titles defended.
I think we might get Awesome Truth versus a new form of the Judgment Day, like Finn and JD potentially.
That makes a lot of sense too. And it's also tough because
And I kind of think they're probably going to win.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Awesome Truth is going to hold the titles for long.
Well, it also kind of just is so... I just want everyone in Judgment Day except for Dom to have a title. I think that would be really funny.
Yeah.
Like, everyone holds up their titles and Dom's just like... like, just...
Well, and that could also start to like build the pressure toward Dom to kind of build him up more, because it's like, we all have titles. You need to get a title or you're out of the Judgment Day. Kind of like that sort of thing. So then that can also kickstart him actually winning matches, which does not happen ever, because they're going to have to eventually have him win matches. So, I think
what are your thoughts on... I was going to say... So, I don't know if you saw on SmackDown, but they said it wasn't Santa, it wasn't Legado, and it wasn't Dom who attacked Dragon Lee or something. So they were like, who was it then? Feels like it's probably Carlito.
Yeah.
So do you think we get a match with that potentially at Backlash? Something in there? Maybe Carlito versus Ray.
I think that would probably be my bet.
Which would be cool. I'm down for putting that on a pay-per-view, dude.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Carlito has not been properly like serviced.
He's done nothing.
He's literally done nothing since he came back. So let's put Carlito to work, because he's awesome.
Yeah, and he can easily still wrestle. So
dude, he's probably in better shape than he's ever been.
Yeah, agreed.
Might not be as fast, but he is bigger than he's ever been. Like, he's definitely bigger.
Stronger.
For sure. So Carlito versus Ray would be a bit of a banger, where maybe we get Santos and Carlito versus Ray, or Carlito versus Andrade, maybe.
Nah,
you don't think so? Okay.
I think if they're going to do something still with those groups, it's going to be Ray versus Carlito.
Okay, I could see that for sure.
Because like Carlito versus Andrade could happen on like SmackDown. You know
but they could tear the house down, I think, bro.
They could. Well, what I'm excited for is Dragon Lee.
I think people are starting to forget how insanely good Andrade is in the ring.
He's so good.
Like,
dude, that's why I want him to wrestle Dragon Lee. You talk about a banger. Those two would tear it down.
Like, I think people are true. Like, maybe not. I think there's a lot of people who don't know.
Yeah,
how good he is in the ring. Like, truly. Like,
and if you want to know, watch him in NXT.
Dude, his match with Gargano is probably the best match in NXT history.
Oh yeah,
if not one of them.
It's like, easily a top three. Like, ask anybody.
Top 3, easy. Honestly, a lot of lists have it at 1. I would probably say, just as far as like bell to bell, like there was definitely a little bit more like compelling stories on NXT, like with some like Gargano versus Ciampa matches and stuff. But that match was awesome.
And Gargano also said that was like one of his favorite matches that he's had recently with CVV during an interview. So, man, I'm trying to think of what other matches. How many? You probably think they do 6 matches.
You think they put A-Town Down Under on the...
I think they'd only do one set of the tag titles.
So, do you think Rhea defends? I think probably not.
I agree. I think they're gonna have Bayley defend.
Yeah, I think Bayley might. Who do you think? I think
a
Bayley Io rematch isn't a bad call.
It's not a bad call given the time of Backlash, because it's like a week after the draft.
Yeah.
So that's where it's kind of like, it's tough to sit here and decide, because like you were going to have the draft, before Backlash, so then things can easily get shaken up, and then like a week later, because I think they're going to swap world titles.
I think they're going to swap both sets. Yeah, I think all of Judgment Day is going to go to SmackDown.
I think Priest goes to SmackDown. I just think they want Cody on Raw.
So do I. I think it's simple as that, and I don't think they want to. And I think Judgment Day gets drafted like as one, probably just like all 5 members.
Yeah, as like a faction.
And they'll probably, which is just like, which is kind of nuts. But like also, if you think about it, and it just goes like, so if they draft it like Cody is the first overall pick to Raw, and then like Nick Aldis is like, I pick the Judgment Day or something, and he's like, no, you got all of them, no, and then
Well,
and then
what I
immediately probably picks Bailey.
what I could also see them doing is doing everybody except Dom,
Ooh,
because that would be fun.
or they draft him. Yeah, they draft him like. Yeah, that is interesting. I do agree with you. I do think they swap world titles though. I think they want Cody on Raw, and I think go let the Judgment Day take over SmackDown a little bit. I would like to see
let
that.
him take over SmackDown.
The SmackDown Women's Division I think would be really cool with Rhea Ripley over there. It would be a nice little refresher for her. Give her a lot of fresh new opponents. She could use it. Like honestly, now that I'm really thinking about it, I'm gonna kind of be shocked because if you think about it, it's like Rhea needs new opponents, dude. Like she ran through
the division.
Like so she needs to go to SmackDown. I can also see one thing I was gonna say was for Backlash is potentially Bailey versus Dakota.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does feel like we're gonna get some sort of Bailey versus Damage Control member.
Yeah, I think my money's on an EO rematch, but I wouldn't be surprised if you get a Dakota match, because I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, especially because I think like Dakota's kind of like now the leader.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. So it's like
feels like it.
And she's the only one that speaks fluent English, so I think that is probably a big part of it. But. So I'm trying to think of how many matches do you think they have?
6.
6?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 6 is the call. So let's say
Cody versus. But if they have like a big stipulation, they'll do 5.
I think that's fair. Cody versus AJ. Maybe they do maybe they do Bailey versus Io with a stipulation. I could see that.
Yeah.
And then like,
or maybe they do
and like Jade, Naomi, and whatever come out to help her, and it's like a final kind of puts the nail in that coffin of that story.
I could see them doing a 4-on-4 Damage Control versus Naomi, Jade, Bianca, Bailey.
I just think if they're gonna do that, then you might as well just do a title match with, like, and put a stipulation in there. And then just have everybody get involved. Does that make sense? Just because I think that that's a little more like puts a little more oomph behind it, and it's like I think a Bailey EO rematch.
That feels honestly like a SmackDown match, though, right? Like the 4-on-4.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like maybe like after Bailey beats EO for a second time.
Yeah,
I don't know. But it's also like, do you think, ooh, bro, you know what's honestly probably gonna happen? They're probably gonna do the Kabuki Warriors versus Bianca and Jade for the tag titles. Because I don't know if you saw, but it seems like seems like that might be the direction they're going with Bianca and Jade. It seems like they might be trying to make them a proper tag team.
Really?
Because I don't know if did you see them on SmackDown?
No, I didn't see.
Okay, so Chelsea and Piper went up to like Nick Aldis, and Chelsea was like, I asked for a match and you put me up against Jade Cargill. What the hell? And then Piper was like, yeah, put us in a tag match tonight. And then they were like, all right. And then the tag match was against Jade and Bianca. But they were wearing matching gear. Like color scheme at least was matching. And they were like, I don't know, just the way they were doing it and talking about it. Like Michael Cole was like, the women's tag team division has been put on notice with these two women teaming up, or like something like that. You know what I mean? And then like, I saw like WWE tweeted like, what would you name this tag team or something? And it was like Jade and Bianca. And then I also saw Jade say, she tweeted like, I debuted at WrestleMania this past weekend, and now I'm tag teaming with Bianca Belair. Like, life couldn't get any better, or something. So but to be honest, I'm like, dude, that would be. It's not like they got to be a tag team forever. Make that a nice little power team for a while. Add that to their resume, dude. Like, add that to their resume. Have them break up. Nice feud between them. Cut down the line. Get back together. Like, I'm for it, honestly. And if I'll tell you one thing above anything else, man. The women's division is getting a little stacked. Bianca doesn't need to be in that world title picture anytime soon, as of right now. She'll get back to it, but she doesn't need it, like, as of right now. Like, she literally ran that game for 3 straight years. Like, so this alone, people should be excited about, because it shows they're putting thought into the women's tag team division. By making that tag team, like, you can't, like, those women need TV time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be on TV. So so if they're a tag team, they're going to be on TV, which means a women's tag team is going to be on TV regularly, which means it's good for the division. Like, so I'm for it, to be honest.
Yeah. So, initially I wasn't for it.
No, I agreed. But once I thought about it for a sec.
Once you think about it.
Yeah.
You think about it. You get a little excited with Jade and Bianca tearing up the division, and then that's how you get like jumpstart their feud, and that would give like a jolt to like the women's tag titles as well, because like you said, they're going to be on TV every week, and you talk about a powerhouse of a tag team. I mean, they're just going to run through everybody. It's going to be awesome.
Not to be that guy, but it's like, it feels like the women's tag division, if they're not going to get rid of it, then it needs a fresh, like, we're taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And I think putting it on Bianca and Jade after maybe not even the first time they face them, but like, it feels a little bit.
Yeah, but you can't have them lose.
Yeah, you can't have them lose, now that I think about it. But just give us like a nice little proper build. Like, don't just like throw it on us. You know what I mean? Like,
just do some singles matches.
Hopefully over the next few weeks, because it feels like they might do that at Backlash, honestly.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So that could happen. Do you think Sammy is on Backlash?
Yeah. Sammy
versus
Ludwig.
Ludwig. So do you think
What's
Ludwig
that, 4
maybe
matches?
do you think Ludwig? Yeah, that's 4. Think Bailey versus Io. We said that though, right?
Yeah.
Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day. I really think Awesome Truth versus Finn and JD is happening.
I think
they're transitioning into to Finn and JD being the tag team in the Judgment Day.
It makes sense.
Yeah, they've known each other for so long.
It makes the most sense. I think
and Finn brought him in.
Exactly. And I think they're having at least one of the tag titles defended for the men. I would agree with your prediction on that.
I think it's Awesome Truth
to go.
Sadly losing it to Judgment Day, but it's probably the right call.
Do you think The Miz turns on All Truth?
No. I don't know. I kind of feel like we might be in a babyface era of The Miz.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Dude. Like, in a weird way, like, just because I'm like, I don't know. I don't see them turning, but maybe. But it's like why? To then have a Miz versus R-Truth feud? Like, no one's like begging to have that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely hear you. I think you would be more of like, you do that not to get the Miz and R-Truth feud, because they're not, I don't think they would have a feud. I think you get that just to get the Miz heel turn.
No, I hear you. It might.
I just want the Miz heel. That's all. That's basically what I'm trying to get across here.
Got you.
And I just I want 2016 Miz back. I'm tired of this massive balls situation. As funny as it is, I'm tired of it. I want Miz coming out wearing a suit and tie. I want the ultimate A-lister. I want 2016 Miz back. You know what I mean?
I hear you, man.
So, actually, what I forgot. You think Sheamus is on the card?
Ooh.
I feel like he's got to be, right? He's making his return, or he made his return
No, he's returning
on
tonight.
Raw. Yeah,
No,
but
he's
for the
returning
Watcher, he
Yeah.
made his return.
Correct. You can't return him as a heel, can you?
Nah.
I was gonna say you can have him go after Sammy. Which is interesting.
It's tough.
It is tough.
I'm sure it gets cleared up on Raw about what his goal is, but
I'm just trying to think of other people who they would want on the card. You know what I mean? Because it feels like Seth is probably taking some time off.
yeah.
I also
And
think he's
Becky.
injured.
Probably. I feel like
Like,
he's been injured for like years.
Yeah, but no, I think he got injured at Mania, dude. I don't know. The vibe I got was that he was injured.
You think
when
the
he
knee
came
injury
out-
is real?
I think it's partially. I don't know, dude. The way
He's got to
he
be
just-
hurting.
Yeah, I mean, if not anything else, he deserves some time off just for a few months, and then maybe come back to confront.
Say it. You know it.
CM Punk.
Yeah, buddy.
Um,
He's going to come back after Punk and Drew's feud. He's going to come back as a heel, and he's going to feud with CM Punk, and it's going to be fucking awesome.
I mean, you can't really turn Seth heel though.
I mean, I think if you put him in a feud with CM Punk, you could.
Nah,
Okay. I think they could.
bro. There's so many people that would side with Seth like that.
Yeah. But
There's so many people that are just like fuck Punk. Seth, Seth deserves it way more than. Does that make sense?
Do you think they would turn Punk heel, or do you think they would just let them not?
No,
really
I
worry
think they would
about
just
it?
let him rock. I just don't think they would worry
Cool.
about it. I think,
Yeah.
which I think is the way to go. I don't think you need a proper heel turn. Seth he can say some stuff to get him booed, but it won't be like, you idiots cheer for CM Punk.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like it's more just gonna be.
It would be like two tweeners.
Yeah, it's essentially just gonna be I just think they're both just at the point where you just don't need any proper heel turn or anything. Just let them rock, dude. A proper heel turn can come, but it doesn't feel like it just doesn't. In my mind, I'm just you can't have a proper heel in that feud because you're not the crowd is gonna be mixed regardless.
Yeah.
So you might as well just let them just go as in these are just two guys that don't like each other at all, essentially. You can just go it as that.
Yeah. I mean, so do you think any form of
No,
the
go ahead.
bloodline is going to be on Backlash? And then we can transition to what happened on Monday Night Raw. Or do you think this is sort of a longer, slower game that we're building
I think this is a longer, slower game. I think the only potential way the bloodline is on Backlash is if Jay and Damian is on Backlash, and then the bloodline somehow gets involved in that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know what I think happens? I think you're right. I don't think we're going back to this Jimmy versus Jay feud. So I think what could potentially happen is Jay loses to Priest, and then Solo and the newly signed member of the Bloodline, Tama Tonga, attack Jay, and then Jimmy comes to his aid. And then I could see the tag match happening at Backlash.
So as much as...
But I don't know how likely that is. I'm saying that's something I could see it,
that's
but I could
my
also
thing.
see them playing it out longer.
I think potentially... I think it needs a little bit more time. Because I don't know. I think we maybe need to, Exactly.
I need the forgiveness of Jimmy and Jay to
think,
go on.
and even
Rikishi
if
get
that doesn't-
involved.
I just think if you just think about it, I'm they fought. They literally had a match a week ago. Jay tackled Jimmy off the stage through a table last weekend. So which was awesome. So I'm
which
like,
was
just
awesome.
like, you could speed it up if you want to, but you don't have to. Triple H is a big fan. Yeah, and Triple H ain't
Triple H
gonna
ain't
speed
speeding nothing
anything up
up.
quicker than he has to. If anything, he's gonna play it out longer than he has to.
Yeah. We may not get the
Dude,
first match
like
till
that's
SummerSlam,
kind of like
which is fine.
I think what's more likely. So like I think what's more likely to happen is like I think the soonest that we have that is like is if that happened at Backlash, not the match, but the Jimmy versus or the Jay versus Damian, and then whatever, and then Jimmy comes out to save Jay. Like I think the earliest that happens is Backlash because it just feels like we got to play this out, man. Because it's like, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna need because this is how I see it playing out. So we'll just get right into it. Tama Tonga debuted
Paint the
on
picture.
Friday. If you didn't,
I have a pretty good idea.
yeah. If you didn't,
I've got a
you
good
missed
idea.
it, a new member of the Bloodline and a new chapter of the Bloodline story has. Yeah,
I would say a new
we
book.
honestly,
I would
we
say
are
we're
on
onto
to
the
the
sequel.
sequel. This is a new. It's a new. Yeah,
I think it's
honestly,
a new book. We're a book 2
dude,
right
honestly, someone should write like the Bloodline, the novel, like, and just like try to write. I might try. Could I get the rights to that?
now. Well, we actually talked about
Yeah.
doing it as like a video series of like doing the Bloodline story. It would just take so long to do. Like if we were able to do this full time, then I would definitely do that. But like it would be sick
we should just
to,
do it
like,
in
do
like a
something
video
like that.
series. Like who cares how long it takes? Like
Yeah, but like
we'll finish
even
eventually.
that, like it would
You know what I
take
mean? Like we'll just do it.
Yeah.
Just to
Maybe
do
we'll
it.
try it.
And then it's like by the time we're like get to like Cody
That would be
finishing the
sick.
story, like this story will maybe be done. Who knows? Like but essentially, so in case you missed it, small review. Solo said Jimmy needed consequences essentially for losing at WrestleMania. And then he walked up to him and he said, "You're my brother. I love you." Gave him a hug. He was like, "I love you too, man." Like Jimmy is great. he was like, "What you doing,
Jimmy's
man?
great.
What are you doing?" Like, all right. I love you too, man. Look. And then we get Tama Tonga, son of Haku, debuting. Tama Tonga, if you're unfamiliar, has been wreaking havoc over in Japan for the last probably close to a decade at this point. Original member of Bullet Club.
A while.
So not only does this man have ties to the Bloodline, he also has ties to AJ Styles and to Finn Balor and to the Good Brothers, and even Cody. I believe him and Cody were in Bullet Club together. He was in Bullet Club was he in Bullet Club this entire time? Like, yeah,
For
like
a
he might have been. Like,
while.
I don't know,
think
but
so.
he was a. Yeah, I know that
Also,
he was
let
a
us know
very
in the
like he
comments
was
if
one
you
of
guys
the
know.
stable members like throughout the years. He was there through.
Yeah,
Oh,
and he's
totally.
been a staple
And he's
piece
been,
for New
like,
Japan
he's
for a
been
while
through
as
with
well.
Bullet Club through multiple different leaders, and so. But with that being said, we get the debut of Tama Tonga. There was rumors that he had been signed, and I think, and then we had got recent news of the Jacob Fatu signing. So I think the Tama Tonga signing almost kind of slipped everyone's minds, because the Jacob Fatu signing had just hit the news. But then we get the Tama Tonga debut, which makes you think that the Jacob Fatu debut can't be far behind. So
I think it is but I think it's kind of just the way they're going to like.
yeah,
tell
like it
the
might be a
story,
little bit,
if that
but
makes
it's not
sense.
going to be like, might be a couple months. Yeah, but it's not going to be like
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
super
thinking.
long. And honestly, they probably just want to. I'm assuming, and honestly, I'm assuming part of it, like they probably had this story in mind, but they're also like, you have to get trained to wrestle on WWE television. Like, it is a lot different. Like, it's not like you have to get trained, but you have to get trained on that style.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then you have Solo and Tama Tonga really just wreaking havoc on Jimmy, and Paul Heyman sitting there, and obviously a genuine reaction of Paul Heyman. No idea what's going on. Paul Heyman is not in on this, and you can 100% tell that he's not in on this, specifically when he goes, "Call Roman Reigns," and then Solo grabs the phone, throws it, stomps it, smashes it. So he was.
Was he wearing shoes?
Thank God, honestly, for that.
Okay.
Dude, that would have been insane.
I kind of wish he wasn't.
If you're like, he doesn't even have
but that would have been cooler.
Would have been cooler if he just ate it.
He just stomped his phone out.
It would have been cooler if he took it and just snapped it in half, then gave it back to him or something. Anyway, so later we have Jimmy is in the medical room or whatever, and Paul Heyman comes out, and Kathy Kelly, I believe it was, goes up to Heyman and says, "Paul, is Jimmy okay?" And he just looks at her and goes, "No." And then Tama Tonga, did you see that clip? Yeah, he was like,
I did.
Tama Tonga walks up and he goes, "Per orders of the tribal chief." And then Solo comes and goes,
"Yeah."
So first, let me give this. Solo probably has the most personality. Let me chill. Solo has a lot of personality. Like, when he was in NXT, like, this man could go, like, on the mic, bro. Like, this man can go on the mic. Like, this man has a lot more than what we've just seen on. The reason I was going to say he might have the most personality out of the three Usos is just because, like, he's the one who's done the most solo work, like, honestly. But, like, we've now had Jimmy, like, on his own for a little. Yeah, but, yeah. Exactly.
No pun intended.
But, yeah, so, and I love how we're getting this. You don't really know who this new tribal chief is. It's like, yeah, it could be Solo, but might be The Rock calling shots from the outside. Maybe it's Rikishi. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, Rikishi quoted, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter. I don't think it means nothing. But, like, yeah, they, like, posted the picture
something.
of, like, Solo and Tama, like, over Jimmy. And then, like, Rikishi quoted it and said, like, "Believe that," with, like, a 1 and, like, a blood drip. People are like, "Bro, that's your son. They just fucking destroyed your eldest boy. Like, what the hell?" But so maybe it's Rikishi calling the shots. You know what I mean? I think the best bet, but I think everyone's probably The Rock. I think it's The Rock probably calling shots from behind the scenes. What do you think?
I think it's maybe I'm just like, I think it's like I'm being too simplistic. I kind of just thought it was always
there's
Solo.
more to it, bro. There's definitely more.
But I'd say it's Solo because Roman said he's the next tribal chief. He's the heir to the throne. Roman ain't the tribal chief no more.
So you think The Rock's going to come back and be like, "Solo is the tribal chief"?
Yeah. The Rock may not even be involved anymore.
What do you mean? He just said his story with Cody is not finished.
Yeah, but I mean, like, with him and Cody, like, I don't know how much he's going to be involved. Like, he may get a little bit involved with the bloodline. I don't think he's going to be a major
just said
factor.
This is all going to lead to The Rock versus Roman next year at WrestleMania. So you can't say he's not going to play a major factor in the story.
No, see.
Okay.
What I think.
I'm just
let me
confused.
explain my process. So what I think. Okay. I think I'm confused too. I think what's going to happen is Solo is potentially trying, or is maybe currently, the new head of the table, because I think this is going to lead to like Solo, Tamatonga, and Fatu versus Roman and the Usos. That kind of feels like the direction that we're heading at. So I think I'll take back my previous statement because I do think we're getting The Rock versus Roman at 41. But I'm also not sure like how much, like, unless they add members down the line. I'm just trying to, like, I'm not fully certain like what The Rock's role is going to be in all of this.
I mean, you got to think. We'll see. I think the thing is that he's calling the shots from the outside. Or, like you said, it could be essentially him giving, like, Solo the blessing as the new tribal chief. Essentially, like, The Rock put Solo in charge. But I think it's a thing is where, like, The Rock is either in charge or he directly puts Solo in charge. Because who knows? I think there's a decent chance we get a War Games match of Roman, the Usos, and Cody.
Don't tease
versus The Rock, Solo, Tama, and Jacob. I'm just saying that because I'm just trying to think of who the fourth person would be, and I'm like, if they're still involving Cody with The Rock, maybe that's how they do it at that point. Or Rikishi.
That would make sense.
What? Fuck? I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, I just realized that. Who? Lance?
I think we get.
I just said him.
Who are we forgetting?
Zilla! Fucking Zilla, bro. Zilla.
No, you're forgetting Zilla!
Zilla,
Woo!
bro.
Zilla! Let's go, Zilla.
Or maybe we get.
I don't know how, but he's involved in this
Solo.
somehow.
Or Solo. Or maybe Solo, like.
Solo, Zilla, Jacob, Tamatonga, Roman, the Usos, and Lance.
I almost feel like it makes more sense to have Solo end up rejoining his brothers and then have them and Roman. No, and then have them
Zilla
and
with them?
Roman versus Zilla, Jacob, Lance, and Tama.
I feel like, oh, yes.
What?
You know what it could be? The Bloodline versus Samoan
could be
SWAT.
that. Could get maybe Juicy Finau.
Now we're getting somewhere. Juicy Finau. I like that idea. I think it is. I think this somehow
Games,
leads
right?
to
It has to.
War Games, and it's going down.
If my
and it's
money's
gonna
on
be the
anything, I
craziest
think
thing
I
ever.
truly think the most likely would be The Rock, Solo, Jacob, and Tama versus Roman, the Usos, and somebody else. Agreed.
I think it's got to be a member of the Bloodline.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm just like, or maybe The Rock doesn't get involved in War Games. I don't know. Like, maybe it doesn't lead to War Games, but it's like, it has to lead to a Bloodline Civil War.
I
Like,
don't
it
know.
has, like,
I like the idea.
yeah, but it's like,
I like the idea of War
part
Games.
of me thinks
the Bloodline versus each other.
they're at least going to do, I mean, fuck it, dude. Maybe they'll just fuck around and do. What if they do the Usos and Solo at WrestleMania versus Jacob, Lance, or no, Jacob, Zilla, and Tonga. And then it's like The Rock versus Roman. I don't know. Like, my thing is, I'm just like, essentially, I'm just like, how are my thing is, I'm like, how is each member of the Bloodline making their decision on which side they're on? Like we need like more behind that. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like I'm cool with like Lance being the fourth person on that team with the Usos and Roman, but it's like why? You know what I mean? Why is he on that team rather than yeah, he's an Anawai.
Is he
He's an
directly
Anawai. Yeah. Yeah.
related to Roman? He's an
Yeah, but The
Anawai.
Rock is an
So, like, well,
Anawai.
there's that. Yeah, but is Lance
have to
Anawai
think.
more related to Roman? Is he the related?
It's
all
no,
so
The Rock is an
confusing.
Anawai.
I don't know.
Or no, he's a Maivia. He's not an Anawai. I mean, Lance is definitely more related to them. I mean, honestly, The Rock is the least related to them out of any of them. That's really what it is. If you want to get down to it, I think
we need the picture of the bloodline tree from
like not in the bloodline
press
as well,
event.
technically. The bloodline family tree.
Oh boy. Dude, this is going to be insane. This is going to be a good, like, probably over a year that we're getting this bloodline
Shout out
story.
to Real Unreal on Twitter for this graphic.
Shout out to you, Too Real.
All right. So we got this. We got brothers via blood oath, but let's see. Lance. I mean, Lance. All right, so Lance is down there. Where's Roman?
Man, this is all so confusing.
So they are
cousins? First cousins?
Second cousins, I believe. So it looks like so Lance's dad is Alpha Jr. No. Lance's dad is Samu. Okay. Lance's dad is Samu.
And who's Samu's dad?
Alpha.
Now we're talking. Yeah, so he's like pretty related. Like he's in there. He's in the thick of it.
Alpha is Roman's great uncle.
Okay.
So like it was his his grandmother's or his No, it was his grandfather is Sika. That's Roman's grandfather. Sika and Alpha are brothers.
Okay.
Lance is Alpha's grandson.
So Lance and Roman are second cousins.
Yes, they're like
if I'm understanding you correctly.
Much more related than the others. Jacob, but Jacob and the Usos are first cousins. Like,
okay, now we're talking. This is getting
like
juicy.
Rikishi and Umaga were brothers.
Oh. All right.
And then where's Tama? Is Tama on this?
I don't know.
He might not be. Because I believe his is like a similar blood oath type thing. Like how the... You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah. Anyway. I'll stop screen. Anyway, you saw it right there. They're all related, and the one that's the least related is The Rock.
Yeah. So
maybe Jacob will join the Usos, like, as their, you know what I mean? Because he's their first cousin.
Yeah.
Or wait, let me look. So Zilla's their first cousin too, then.
I thought Zilla
isn't on this family tree.
Okay.
But he is also their first cousin.
Yeah. So let's go real quick.
Jacob's dad is Tonga Kid. Zilla's dad is Umaga. And Uso's dad is Rikishi. Believe
So-
they are all brothers.
Okay.
So I believe Zilla, Jacob, the Usos, and Solo are all first cousins.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, let's end with this quick prediction. What do you think? What pay-per-view do you think is the earliest that we sort of get some sort of like serious feud going? Saudi Arabia.
Is SummerSlam before Saudi Arabia or after?
I believe it's after.
Then SummerSlam.
Oh no, I mean Saudi Arabia is before SummerSlam.
Then Saudi Arabia.
Okay. I'm going to agree. I think we get the 6, some sort of 3-on-3 tag match at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Doesn't it feel like it's going to be, when Roman returns, it's going to be a situation? My guess is that it's either going to be this new form of the bloodline beating down on the Usos, or it's going to be like The Rock versus Cody is bloodline rules or something. Like, I don't know, like something where ref gets knocked down or something. And then it's essentially like Cody's about to win, or I don't know. You get The Rock return during that match, and essentially The Rock is like, or you get Roman return during that match, and then The Rock is like, cousin, whatever. Like he tells him, like, and the Roman like acts like he's there to like help Rock, and then he like fucking spears Rock and just like walks out.
Yeah, that would
And
be
he's
sick.
just like, you didn't check on me one time while I was out.
Not one
You didn't
phone
call
call,
to ask how I
not
was
one
doing.
message.
You didn't see what you could do to help.
Dude. So I think
That's not what family does.
that is not Uzi. I think we both agree this is leading to Roman versus Rock at 41. Everything that happens from now until then is going to be absolute madness. I think this is going toward the direction of some sort of Bloodline versus Samoan SWAT team situation. I think could be cool, or at least maybe that's a little chapter in the book.
I think it's more just going to be like a Bloodline Civil War type of thing. Like I think it's going to be more like Bloodline versus Bloodline.
Yeah, so it's going to be sick. I'm very excited for it, especially now it's like Triple H has full control over everything. Like, this man's about to cook. Also, really quick before we end this, what also happened on Raw, Roman handed Cody something, and he said, "Don't break my heart again."
Oh, The Rock, you mean?
Yeah, The Rock handed Cody something. It was super weird. I don't remember where I saw it. It may have been a report or something, but Cody may have said it, but I think he gave him the Rolex that Cody gifted Rock and Roman. I think he gave it back to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not been confirmed. Like, nobody knows for sure. It's all just
odd.
like, it's all just speculation. I think that's like the number one thing people have been saying.
Yeah. So what do you think? Cody versus Rock at SummerSlam?
Yeah, kind of. That or Saudi.
Yeah, agreed. All right. So this was a jam-packed episode. You guys let us know in the comments down below. What are your theories about this Bloodline story? Next week, we'll probably talk about the draft along with some other things. We may have to do, I haven't checked the dates, but be on the lookout for our Backlash predictions video. With that being said, that's going to wrap up this episode. I'm Mark Izzo, he's Dillon O'Brien, and this has been another episode of the Burning Hammer Podcast. We'll catch you next week.
Catch you all later.